Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode onto the Cephas Cardozo Podcast. In this episode, we'll be discussing about how to start a startup or how to build a startup in 2026. Okay, now this is a more of an audio-based interaction which I'm having with you guys, and I'll be focusing on making a video guide as well, explaining exactly how to go on this year. Now, when we talk about startup, right, the advice mostly we get, right, is there are good tutorials as well, and the motivation does exist, but for a temporary time. But we do need to have a proper progress, or you could say a more proper timeline, or a more proper path towards understanding what you actually need to do to actually build a startup, or using your project or idea into building something important. Now this is obviously 2026 is more of an execution. You could say that this is more of an execution phase about starting, or pointing out or putting that point or the pin to actually beginning your journey onto building or expanding your idea. Anyone can start, that's very sure, and very few can sustain. Okay, so I hope you understand that everyone, right, startup is when you're having a startup, it's going to be very stressful, and this happens to me as well. One of the best things I have learned is to be actually controlling your emotions or controlling your feelings, okay, because you cannot let your emotions take over you. Be very stoic and understanding, and be logical about each situation. Okay, that is one of the most powerful advice I could give you, is to control your emotions. That's one of the best things. You know why? Because things are going to get real hard, and you'll have to control your emotions and take logical decisions. That's one of the best things which I've got in my life that I've understood so far, and it's more of a test, every single phase, and it's definitely going to be hard. The journey is going to be hard. Things are not going to be work out as planned, but you definitely you have to keep moving forward. Now in 2026, right, we have a lot of AI tools. Okay, one of the best things that you can use is AI. Okay, and AI tools as in the whole sense, and using AI. Okay, you could say more of working with AI, and using actually you could say you're working with AI models as in a whole concept. Okay, there are lots and lots of tools, and one of the best tools include like ChatGPT is one of the best that I have used, and we have Gemini also as well. These tools can be used in a certain manner, you could say worked with in a certain. Obviously you'll have to be concise with the prompts that you actually put in to get the expected results, because I have worked with people who put in prompts and then they don't expect the right results. I mean, they expect something but they get something else. Okay, now obviously to get in the right results, you can definitely check out my course. It's completely free. Just go on to Udemy and check it out. Cephas Cardozo AI courses, okay, on crafting the right prompt for you, because I've seen people put in AI prompts, right, and when they expect something, they get something else. So the reason I'm telling you regarding AI for this startup episode, right, is because one of the best things you can use, especially on low funding, or when you have low funds or no funds at all, or if you're a bootstrap startup, the best thing you can do is improvise on the spot and just use AI, utilize AI. Okay, I wouldn't say use, because AI is much more helpful. Okay, rather than using it, it would be more of utilizing it, okay, as a proper tool, because it is definitely helping us out, and it boosts our efficiency and output as a whole. Now there is a lot of things, just not just AI, and it consists of multiple things. So first things first is when we actually start with phase 1. Okay, that means putting out your idea. The first thing is that your idea that you have, right, or it could be a project, an idea, maybe you've already built something, maybe a website or a platform. Okay, do not underestimate yourself, but do not be filled with pride as well. Okay, be humble, because as I said in all my episodes, right, and everywhere I've mentioned that ego kills growth. Okay, even in my book Born to Build, right, ego will kill your growth. Why? Because when you have ego, right, you will not let yourself push or extend your limits. You will not cross that barrier of your limits. You think that you're the best. You can always be better, but you can never be the best. Okay, because there will always be someone outworking you. There will always be someone who's even more consistent, even though there's no perfection. But I would there is this there is someone who's always grinding, doing better than you. Now when you focus on starting up with this project, okay, let's say you have a project idea or an idea. Now how do you actually conceptualize, or how do you actually turn that into matter, or something that is of usable form? You have an idea. All you have to do, right, stop making thing. I hate it when people make things complex. Okay, all you have to do is just simplify it. If you want to make a certain, now when you have an idea, how will you actually, what do you actually do with your idea, right? Maybe you might go for a shower, maybe you might be eating, or you might be going for a run. That is the time when our brain works a lot. Okay, you might be getting a lot of ideas. Sometimes we just tend to sit, focus and try to work, but in reality we don't get ideas. So sometimes you let your mind go free and understand what else can your mind capture or create. Because using this, right, now converting that idea, let's say you have an idea, now that idea has to be converted into some matter that is usable. So that is something known as an MVP. Okay, a minimal viable product. Okay, now sorry for the slip of tongue, but this thing, okay, it looks complex, but it's not. It's just your test product phase. Okay, MVP. Do not try to complicate. You can just check it on Google what it means. But as simple as it is, it basically means a test. You could say a demo or a test platform or a website or your project idea on online. That is as simple as that is. So what this does is basically giving the user a chance to test your platform, and you get feedback on this. And people also start noticing. You get traffic, you get audience, you get search engine optimization, and there's a lot of things as well. You build traffic online. Now when you talk about this, how do you actually build? Okay, now we start questioning, how do you, now after understanding that you have to convert this idea into actual matter to get it used, or get it get people using it. So what do you do? Now after this, you actually understand what skills are required to build such a platform, or what do you actually require to build it, to literally build it, maybe with code, okay, or with building a team of people. So what do you do now, okay, is understanding whether your idea, you want it to be a privately held, or you want to be actually funded by investors. So keeping it very simple, you can either be bootstrap is basically using your own money, okay, like using your own savings or your fundings to fund your own startup. Okay, as simple as it is, like tasks can be including maybe paying for project management subscriptions, or paying for domain hosting, server space. These are all the things that come under this funding. Okay, maybe even hiring a team. So if you have the amount of savings that you have, right, you can utilize it in such a manner so that if you have good amount of skills, if you are willing to put in all the effort by yourself, you definitely can go for this option. And this is one of the best, because you learn a lot, okay, by utilizing your own, because you learn how to be very resourceful. Because when you get funding, it's not bad to get funding, it's actually one of the best things. But when you use your own money, right, for funding, you realize how to be so much more resourceful. And this is what I have learned when I have one of my bootstrap startups, that is Goping.in, because I realize how much more resourceful I can be. You learn how to save money, like you realize how much more things can be done. You realize the different alternatives towards doing certain things. So what do you do now is getting a team or understanding. So now you have categorized whether it's a bootstrapped or a funded startup. After this, you realize which pathway to go. If you're going bootstrapped, you can start, and if you're going with funding, you can contact investors on LinkedIn or online investing platforms, or you could get in touch with using emails, contacts, leads, different business events. This is how you get. Okay, but one of the best ways would having direct face-to-face contact towards actually advertising your startup and keeping things. I one of the best things I would suggest is keeping things using certain terms. Okay, like, so what happens here is that having agreements whenever you talk with someone, right, and if you have certain ideas, make sure you have a certain agreement, okay, that your idea is not utilized in a different manner, made publicly available without your consent. Okay, because this is one of the best things that I have done is keeping records, okay, or agreements. One of the best things. What happens here is that you create a safety barrier, okay, for your ideas, that you realize that you can use it for future legal cases or anything like that, which is one of the best things. This could work out with your team, your developer. Your agreements can be made so that you keep barriers or limitations for your ideas or your projects. This way it is a safety barrier, and you can use it in court if you ever want to utilize it, or if it's ever required. But this is good. Then now heading on to bootstrap, because I have more experience in having a bootstrap startup, we head on to hiring people, okay, using your idea. Now how do you actually convert it into platform is, if it's an online platform, maybe an e-commerce brand, you'll have to hire people to actually build that platform. Either you do it by yourself, okay, you build a platform by yourself if you have that amount of skills, like you're maybe learning on different coding skills, programming languages, algorithms, different things. You can use AI agents, utilizing code, or even AI platforms to code for you, okay. If whatever ideas you have, just make sure you do it, okay. Just start. When you start, right, you realize that you cross out different levels, okay. When you start, that is your level 1. Level 2 is actually being consistent. Level 3 is being consistent even harder. So you keep going forward, you do not let things stop you, okay. Whatever you do, you just have to keep doing it, because you cannot stop yourself. So after this, you actually get a team, okay. Either you do it by yourself. If you do it by yourself, then marketing or getting it in PRs, okay, you'll have to reach out to people. But what you can do is, if you want to hire a developer, you could head on to LinkedIn, okay. It's best that you either have a video chat, okay. You have to go through people's profiles, developer profiles, reviews or feedback, testimonials. Even LinkedIn has this thing called endorsements, okay. So you could actually see if people have good amount of followings, good amount of feedback with negotiations, etc., to understand if the person is actually legit, okay. So that is one of the best ways. Another thing would actually, you could go to an agency. Before you actually give your idea, you can have an agreement on your audio, okay, or your basically your verbal agreement that you have. It's better to have a physical paper, or to not disclose the verbal agreement that you have, okay. So regarding when you talk about your idea to the agency, you can tell that you do not want to disclose this verbal agreement that you have. So you sign it, an agreement, even though you may not like the agreement regarding the pricing. Maybe the agency might charge, let's say 2 lakhs to build your platform, and you might not like this, but you might go to a different agency and they charge you 1 lakh. You have to still have, there is not, the agency is not losing anything, neither are you. It's just that the agreement is made to keep your ideas private, okay, and that the agency is not wanting to put utilize your idea for anything else. So obviously this does not it does happen, but it's not a major thing. But it's best to always be aware and conscious about what your ideas are. Then we head on to, after getting signed with your developer or development team or agency, you can then head on to depending on the package that you have, or if you have a developer, you have to create a structured plan, okay. That means your platform, does it have any competitors? What is your platform all about? What is what are the things that, if you'll have to realize that you might need a designer as well, or you could ask, or you could refer to different websites for visual references, okay, so that your website, how it looks like, because you have to create what is in your mind, right, must be made visually, right. You cannot just expect the developer to out of the box create a perfect product. It doesn't work like that. You have to have respect for people as well, okay. It's not for as well, you have to have respect for people, because everybody is human, so you cannot expect perfection, okay. You will always be accountable and responsible for your actions, okay. Whatever it may be, it's your startup. Whatever happens with the startup is all about you. So now you'll have to improvise, okay. You can use AI to generate your user experience or wireframes, design mockups. These all depend upon you, okay. You can always improvise. There are different ways, okay. You can let your developer, you can even use a document, as simple as a document, creating a project structure. What exactly do you want on your website? Go through your competitors' sites or go to different references, design mockups, create a full document, send it as a PDF. Once the MVP is done, again go through the site, check out different things, all the web pages. It may take 2 to 3 hours. Just do it, okay, and create another PDF, okay, document, state it out, take a screenshot, put it up, put what is required, call up the agency or the developer, fix things. Just do it, okay. All you have to do is just get things done, okay. This will keep on happening even while I'm having this conversation, right. So obviously after doing this, right, your MVP will be done, and finally maybe your product will be created, okay. That means now you have a proper product. Now it may take 5 months, 8 months, almost a year also, because I have gone through this phase, okay. And it is normal, but it is also a very important thing is that you have to make sure that you have your timelines, because time is very essential and crucial, okay. So make sure that the agency or developer that you're working with very much heeds to the time, okay, because you have to have respect for yourself and not let people take advantage of you. Okay, that doesn't mean just because you're nice, doesn't mean things just happen out of the box. You have to have respect, self-discipline. Now what happens after this is you have a product ready. After the MVP is ready, meaning a test product, okay, basically even though it has few bugs, it can be launched online, but make sure that your bugs are fixed and then a new product is launched. Because when people actually test your site ad, you might have to create using screenshots. Once you take screenshots of your site, send it to your developer or agency that you're working with, and make sure you keep track of all these things. One of the best things. Okay, so after the actual site or platform is done, or the business that you're working or creating, this is more of an online startup, or that online initiatives that I'm talking about. Okay, if you have a project or a SaaS, software as a service, these things are very important, again, very crucial. Now you'll have to launch the site. After launching the site, how do you actually find people to test your platform? How do you do it? What you have to do now is basically use community forums. Okay, community forums, we have WhatsApp groups, everywhere. Be very resourceful. Okay, understanding where exactly can you do these things for free. Not utilize your money first only. Realize, okay, be resourceful. If you did not have the funds that you had required, or very low funds, how would you be resourceful? Okay, now one of the best ways is to create a image mock-up, okay, or maybe create a video or a reel or a small very explanatory video and send it across on community platforms like you have Reddit. Obviously adhere to the guidelines, and you have to be appropriate with the words that you use, and send your startup. I'm getting feedback, guys. You could put it up on LinkedIn, Instagram. You could even run a paid awareness ad, a small paid awareness ad, because awareness ads are very crucial, and they are cheap, to be honest. Okay, because it's just creating awareness to people in your locality or your region, which is actually quite cheap. If you have the skills of running on online digital advertisements or campaigns, it would be one of the best things to do, and I would actually suggest you to start it. Okay, learn this skill on digital marketing and advertisement, branding, etc. So after doing this, right now you maybe have few users. Okay, now after gathering few users, maybe you could get 100, 500 users from here only. Send it to your friends. Send it as much as possible to friends. You could ask people to put it up on their socials, platforms, etc. Now what do? After doing this, right, if you are in the youth category, or if you are you could say in your 20s or 30s, you could basically contact or reach out to PR companies. Okay, PR companies are basically your news platforms, because they actually want something useful, okay, information, and that is in a good way. Some companies might be paid, some of them might actually feature you for free if you're doing something really, really resourceful, something really important, something really good, something that would actually benefit people or the community. Okay, so what happens here is that if you have low on funds, or if you have the funds, okay, that doesn't mean you just exploit your funds like that. You'll have to actually utilize them in the right manner. So you might have to pay for a PR campaign to actually reach a huge mass of audience, okay, based on your target niche. There'll be different news channels, brands, etc. that you could collaborate with. There might be paid campaigns, there might be free as well. You could create reels on your own, and make sure that you focus on creating your social media, because one of the most important and best things would be creating your social profiles. And that is known as that is this concept that I have termed as omni-channel presence or branding. Okay, that is very important and crucial, because it not only creates authority online, but it shows legitimacy of your platform. Okay, and when you have something of real value, right, you have to do this. Okay, backlinking is very important. Then running on PR articles. There are sometimes there are small there will be people, writers, who are actually want to feature you for free, because they want something of value, free value. Okay, something that would benefit or help their experience. So you could reach out to writers on Medium or different platforms, etc., and they would actually post it out for free. Another suggestion would be to track your platform online on LinkedIn or Instagram. Actually, one of the best platforms would be LinkedIn. I am utilizing LinkedIn, and I know that it's actually one of the best platforms. Okay, why? Because I have been using it and I've realized it has helped me a lot. So why not utilize LinkedIn, right? Now after doing so, right, there will be one stop over here. Now what do you do after maybe getting a PR, you now have a mass audience of users as well. You have traction. Now, how do you actually scale the company? What do? Ask yourself. Now you'll focus on the core initiative of the company or the platform. Now you'll be more legit. Now you could consider yourself, more important, maybe, having a team to handle out. If it is based on a SaaS, right, a software as a service platform, what you could do is hiring a small team. One could be on your accounts, because if you're earning revenue, right, or if you're not earning revenue but you're on your test phase, but if you want to earn revenue, you'll have to first create something known as a revenue model. That means you'll have to figure out how to actually build a system that will give you revenue. Okay, you'll have to consider how much profit you make, and this will not be a one-time thing. Okay, you'll have to keep things will change, because it's not like a one-time thing you build and it works out for life. It does not work. There'll always be people, new platforms will come out, competitors will come out, so it doesn't just work. It's a very hectic process, but it's worth it. The more pain you go through, the more troubles you go through, right, in life, the more you realize, to sustain it, you start realizing how much more wisdom you can gain, how much more you can be sufficient with, which is why you become more mature and understanding logical. Okay, so after this is done, now you have to realize, revenue models, creating understanding with your team. You may be able to afford a team as well, because you might get more funds, investors, stakeholders, or you might earn revenue or good presence from your platform as well. Okay, there might be advertisers as well. Now after this, you'll have to bring in consistent revenue. Okay, that means you can use as simple as a Google sheet or an Excel sheet. Create a table, use your mind and understand what exactly do I have to measure. It could be, for example, the amount of users you have, or the amount of revenue that you have to make, to build that startup value. It could be a 4-figure startup, 5-figure, 6-figure. It depends upon you. So how do you actually get that revenue, and how much will you charge? It could be, for example, let's say your AI model, you have built an AI platform. Let's say you have built a platform, okay, and advertiser fees, like let's say you want to aim for 1 lakh rupees a month. That means in a day you'll have to charge maybe around 6,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees per company, or for 1 day or 2 days, depends upon you. Okay, and that same way, right, you'll have to know how much daily revenue you want to make to get that monthly goal. So these all thinking processes go on. Okay, and every single day is a war, you could say, because you keep on thinking, you keep on fighting, you keep on understanding. You realize what you can do in the present. So there's a lot more. It's not just one thing that you do for once and then it works on for life. It does not work. So it's more about creating a system. You will maybe have to hire a team. I keep on saying it's team, because you can, one of the best ways I would suggest you is, getting in touch with students, because students or youth are one of the most creative people. Okay, you can always make sure that you have, respect for their time, their boundaries, because they have their own hardships, obviously, going on to college life, things like that. Obviously, there are people who are doing much more, maybe 50 times, 100 times the effort at that age as well, and I understand that. But you have to be respectful about every person, okay, because every person is different and created by God in a different way. So be respectful. After you actually onboard or interview interns, right, you don't have to be over polite, but make sure that you're respectful with every person. Okay, speaking the right things, speaking the right terms, understanding what benefits you can give about your company to them. Maybe it could be a remote job, having proper timelines. How much time do they have to work? How much payment are you going to make? What exact tasks should be done? If you don't have an HR, right, I would suggest utilize AI to actually understand what task you have to get done. You could use certain prompts that you can make. Put everything from your mind, okay, because AI is really smart. Okay, artificial intelligence is smart. You just have to put, even if you may make grammatical mistakes, it will correct it and it will understand what you're actually trying to say. So being resourceful is one of the best. Okay, and as you go along this path, you will start realizing how much more smarter, more wisdom you get, how much more experience. And this all, right, especially if you build it at a young age, you will definitely get more exposure, which means that you can even work for different companies. Even if something fails, right, that is more of a learning lesson. You will not consider it failure, but you can consider more of a learning experience. I know sometimes there are huge startups that lose a lot of money, and that is a very traumatic experience, because it's not easy. People work a lot, okay, and I can understand that. But God has always planned something. Even if we think, right, including myself, sometimes I also get frustrated, but I make sure I control it, because God always have something in store for us, and every experience is somehow that leads us towards building something bigger in life. So what you have to do is just keep moving forward. There are learning experience every single day, and ultimately, right, somehow or the other it will benefit you only, because in the future experience you might realize, okay, this startup or an idea that had worked 6 years ago helped me now to, maybe you could get a director level job or a higher managerial position, maybe into an international company. All these experiences mean a lot, okay? And ultimately you could become a successful entrepreneur, maybe a billionaire, or a you really have, people have potential. You just have to channel it, because one thing I would say, right, is there is always people who are doing better than you. You have to do not let your comfort zone ruin you, okay? I'm talking about your mindset, meaning that just because you are a teenager doesn't mean that you have to relax and take life on a small manner. No, there are people, look, if you go on to LinkedIn, there are people doing much more efforts, putting in much more efforts than you. They're literally just doing it, and they do not make excuses. And it's not like they're robotic about it. They make sure they get their things done, okay? And literally one of the best things is just head on to LinkedIn and you realize how much more people are ahead of you, and accept this in a positive way, as a positive criticism. Why? Because you have potential. All you have to do is just begin with your idea. Do not consider your idea small. It will always benefit someone. There might be someone who is already building some SaaS or start AI or something else. It could be another SaaS platform or a business, or maybe a retail business. It could be anything literally, okay? But they are on their level 50 and you're on your level 1. So do not compare, okay? You can always be inspired, not compare, do not judge those people, because they have gone through a lot more trauma or pain than you have. So all you have to do is just begin today. And this is one of the best mini guides, I could say, summarize my journey, or how to actually start a startup or build a startup in 2026. As I go on, I'll definitely post out more podcast episodes so that you can actually get more feedback and understanding on how the journey goes on. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.